All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for day 2 of our mobile masterclass, learning a masterclass. I'm David Hopstad. I'm going to sort of be the program director and the presenter today as we go through the rest of the course. I see there's a lot of hands going up, so if there is sound issues, please make sure that you have checked your device's sound settings, the volume settings, or your headset settings. Because that definitely will affect your sound of your device. So just keep a check on that. If you're still having problems, exit and try to rejoin Teams. Sometimes that does help. And the third option is please join the YouTube channel. You can actually go watch it live there as well. All right, so we are going to be tackling day 2. So we're continuing from yesterday. So if you did miss it, don't worry. We do have a recording on the course site, and we will be showing you again today where to access that information. I see MS Teams is just loading up. I see a lot of students have just joined now. So obviously it's going to take a little bit of time to catch up, and I see it's quite slow at the minute as well. There we go. It's eventually catching up with me. So I'm going to hand over to Dr. Chetty, who's going to do the welcoming today, and then we're going to jump straight into Unit 2, and we're going to start getting busy with everything that we need to do for this evening. So over to you, Dr. Chetty.
Thanks so much, David. Very good afternoon, good evening to all our students that are joining us. As usual, we are always surprised by the large amount of students that join these sessions. And from yesterday and today, we're really glad that you are joining in by the numbers. I am sure from yesterday's session and the positive comments and feedback, it was really an engaging session, and we're wishing you all the best today and we continue the engagements. So yesterday you've covered some key areas, right from understanding the different operating systems to how to take care of the devices. What are some of the basic things that we need to know about mobile devices? And I know for a fact that as we get into the program today, David and Richard and Natma and Lindiwe have some excellent components of Microsoft 365 and some of the tools that you'd use. And as we mentioned yesterday, these are key functions or tools or software platforms that is very important for you to master as part of your ongoing journey to being a open distance e-learning university student. And as we unpack this, I'm hoping that you also try to link this back to your own space and how you can utilize some of these tools in your upcoming assignments, your examinations, and even your studying as well. So with that said, welcome to the session. I wish you all the best. And I hope that you use this opportunity to gain as much knowledge as possible so that you can go out from these sessions fully aware, conscious of what you need to do. But above all, for us, what's the most important thing? We want to see you succeed. We want to see you pass this year. We want to see you do well. And I think if you do that, you make all of us proud that we've achieved what we set our minds for. So with that said, David, all the best to the students and to you and the team as well as we continue. Thanks, David.
All right, thanks, Dr. Chetty. And once more, welcome, students. I see you guys are jumping in at numbers, so the system is really sluggish. So I'm going to switch off my camera so we can save data. We need to be data conscious, so yes. So thank you so much for the welcoming as well. All right, so students, we've got quite a lot to cover this evening, so we're going to jump straight into using a mobile device. So if you were with us yesterday, you would have seen we looked at device care, how to make sure that your device is running as efficiently as possible, because remember, this is a mobile learning masterclass, so we really looked into the Android technology, and we had a Samsung as an example. So tonight we're going to then continue with the technical skills. Some of those extra little things that is very useful and nifty to know about. So if you didn't know about them tonight, you're going to see how those work and some of the features. Then after me is going to come Richard Wright, and he's going to be tackling the productivity tools. So he's going to be showing you quite a lot of stuff that you've got access to already from Microsoft. And then I'm also going to show you a little bit about the Microsoft 365 app that you can also start using on your device if you're not using it already. Then we've got a little bit of an evaluation we'd like you guys to complete, which is quite important. It's all built into the program that we're sharing with you. So don't worry too much in terms of missing the links and things like that. We will share that again with everybody. And then, of course, we've got a vote of thanks and closure, which our colleague is going to tackle. So just remember, guys, if you might have missed this yesterday, we do have quite a number of courses that's available on our Open Virtual Hub platform, from the STU 100, which is your basic skills, to the ST 300, which is your digital literacy, the HerTech series, and you can see them all on the screen. We did cover this yesterday, but I just thought some of you guys might have missed this, so it's very important that you know all of these courses are available and they are 100% free. That's very important. Hey, there's no ways you're paying for any of these courses. So just make sure you can work through them, and especially the exam prep ones. If you're new to UNISA, you're going to be doing online exams. So we're going to be delving into some of the things that can maybe help you with those exams in terms of getting your device ready for it. So yes, so do take note of all these resources. We will be sharing it in the chat, and we'll open the chat a little bit later on. But please do not share what course you're doing and your contact details and things like that. Because remember, this is also being streamed to YouTube, and there are other people who might just come and see what's happening there and what information they can try and steal from you. So be very careful what you're sharing, guys. This is how they steal people's identities. All right, so we're going to kick off with Unit 2, which is using your mobile device for online learning. Okay, so this is really what we're covering in the course. So what we're doing is we're just going to present some of the most important things, but you, of course, are going to work through all of this. So everything I'm sharing with you guys is in our course as well. We will share the link again, so you guys can be able to access it a little bit later. Okay, so what are we going to look here, guys? We're going to look at some features of your phone that you can customize, how to install, uninstall programs, downloading images, creating and using images, applying some of the features that you can find in your web browser, some of the things you must look out for in your web browser if you're using Google Chrome, for example, showing you some of those internet skills, how to connect your phone to a laptop. Okay, not everybody knows how to do that, how to enable file transfers. And you can see it's quite a lot of things we're covering here, but just remember, guys, that all the detail is in our course. So if you do miss something, don't worry, you can find it there. And of course, how to connect to Wi-Fi and hotspotting, which is quite important, especially if you have internet problems. Okay, first thing, now you'll see there's a long list in front of us. Okay, so as I said, we've got quite a bit that we need to cover. So our technical skills, these are all the skills you really do need to know as a student, okay, especially a student studying open distance learning, because you're going to be sitting wherever you are and you're going to need to access your learning management system. So some of the things we're going to look at is your data queries. So that's the first one, and the UNISA app. So I'm going to tackle these two together, and then we're going to come back to the slide and we're going to look at some of these other things as well. Okay, so your data queries, guys. So I don't know if the chat is open yet, Richard. Maybe just let me know if it is. I actually want to know from the students, because you know you get data every month, right? If you don't get the data, what are you going to do? How are you going to contact UNISA? Richard, is the chat open?
Hi, David, the chat just went open.
Okay, super. There we go. So let's quickly have a look, guys. As again, please just stick to the rules, guys. We want to make this interactive and fun for you guys. So please don't post things like I'm really seeing over there. Someone tried to post earlier today. So yes, guys. So if you've got a data query problem, who are you going to contact? Let's see. Anybody knows the correct email address? Let's see if we get any answers in the chat. Oh no, for tomorrow's session, guys, I don't know when that was posted. Okay, maybe that was yesterday. That would be obviously for today's session. Yes, we're using the same link. Student support. Okay, that's an interesting answer. At least B has tried. My life. No, that's your My Life is your email, hey? So no, those are the queries that sort out all the, there we go. Those are the queries that actually sort out the My Life issues. Okay, so that's not quite right, but there we go. Data queries, I see some of you guys are copying it from somewhere because telex is still in. Visit your regional campus. Okay, that's an interesting answer. Data queries, okay, fantastic. So let's go see, guys. There we go. So if you did, or you do know that it's data queries at unisa.ac.za, you've hit the home run. That's exactly the right email address to use, to send to, and please use your My Life email. Don't go use your UNISA, no, your work one, sorry, or your personal one. because remember, our spam filters might actually block you then, because they might pick up that you're trying to do something, and the network spam filters, like a traffic cop, then won't let you in. It will actually block you. So please use your MyLife email whenever you speak to UNISA. It's like critically important. No, Moses, don't post your email address there for us, but that is the correct format, yes, but please do not share your personal info like that. Okay, so data queries at UNISA, guys. So yes, that's it. The user app I see is also posted, but if you want a quick response, this is the way to go. You can actually use the helpline as well, but personally, I just prefer to go the email route because you've got evidence, you've got date and time. It just makes it a little bit easier to find. Okay, so data queries, very important. How many of you guys, so yes, no answer in the chat. How many of you guys are already using the UNISA student app? Now you'll notice there's something on my screen. It's got a big red circle with a line through it. Turnaround time should be no less than 72 hours, I'm sure. Hey, good question. It should be very quick. Okay, wow, this is actually so interesting. I see a lot of you guys are using the app already. So if you are, brilliant. UNISA student app, very importantly, not just any old app or the one that I'm highlighting on my screen. So the no's or not yet's, guys, here's another way to access your learning material, but using an app instead of a web browser. So that's kind of cool. So yes, someone put their hand up. I'm not sure what that means. Is that a yes or a no? I'm not sure. So guys, you'll see here we've got this little guy. It's called Moodle. Now you might hear this Moodle thing come up quite often. Basically, what Moodle is, right? It is the foundation that we build my UNISA and my modules on. So it's just the platform that we can develop from. So yes, there is a Moodle app, okay, because Moodle, well, it shares this LMS, the Learning Management System, with lots of different universities and institutions all over the world. So that's why you'll see Moodle pops up a lot. Please do not install the Moodle app, guys, because it's not going to help you. You need to make sure that you install the official UNISA student app. That's very important. So, yep, so how do we find this UNISA app? So let me quickly show you. So hopefully you guys can see my screen. That is my cell phone, the same one I used yesterday. So what you can do is you can go to your Play Store, click on the search button, and type in UNISA student app. Okay, so in my case, because I've already got it, it will have the UNISA logo, but very importantly, it says UNISA student. Okay, so just be careful. There are other things that are maybe outdated out there which do not work anymore, so you can kind of ignore them. But UNISA student app is the one that you would go to. How does it work? Very easy. You're just going to install it. You'll hit the install button. I think it's about 70 meg or so. So it's a little bit of data there. But eventually, once it gets in, you will have to need to log in as well. That's very important. So how do I log in? So when you get to the screen, it's actually going to say to you, who are you? And you're simply going to type in your MyLife email address and your password, and it's going to let you in. Okay, so it's that same login procedure that you would have done logging into my modules and to MyLife. Yes, Richard?
Can you perhaps zoom in a bit? It's a bit small.
Oh, is it too tiny? Okay, let me quickly zoom in. Just give it a second. Just getting the app quickly on. Okay, wow, now it's like seriously big. Okay, cool. So there you can see I've logged in. So you must always remember to log out. So you might just see over there, there's your profile. So it's the same login procedure, guys. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this because you would pretty much be comfortable with my UNISA. Hopefully by now you've accessed it. So you'll see things like applications and registrations, your study material. There's an option. So if I select it, then I can go check my parcel tracking or my counter tracking. So there we go. There's a question that we get quite often. How do I go check these things? So there you can actually see it over there under study material. So this app quite useful, interesting. There's the assessments, there's finance, graduations. You can see the latest news. Okay, so it's pretty much the same information you're going to find on the web-based application. But of course, now you're just using the mobile app, which makes it a little bit easier. So hopefully zooming in like this definitely would have helped you guys. Okay, so let me just move it across a bit now. It's going to be a little bit tricky because it's really huge on my screen. Okay, whoa, that just made it a mess. Okay, so let me just quickly remove it.
David, while you're busy, see there's a few questions in the chat. Thanks for the students that's also supporting in the chat, the other students, much appreciated. That's just a question, what is UNISA My Modules? I think you might just also want to touch on that there is an old UNISA app and a new one as well. Thanks, David.
Yeah, and thanks, Richard. Yes, so there is an old app. That's why I was saying we must check carefully in your Play Store, right? Now that one was retired, that one of the My Modules. That was the first one that they rolled out some time ago. I don't believe it's actually being used anymore. So I think that one really is retired. I just want to move my little guy down a little bit. So yes, I'd rather just use the one that says UNISA student app, guys. That's quite important. If you can't hear me, guys, or it's cutting, hopefully my sound isn't cutting, it might be your network. So just check that out as well. I see some of the students are posting on with regards to the mobile store. Yes, it's definitely on the mobile store. So go check it out, guys. It's quite useful. It's definitely something you can maybe make your life a little bit easier. So please do install it, and then please do uninstall the Moodle one if that's what you've already set up, because it's not going to work. It might work now, but in a month's time, you're going to see it's not going to update and it's all sorts of issues. So that's quite important. So please make sure you actually do install the correct app there. But thanks, Richard. Yes, so just remember that My Modules one, I think, has been retired. They should remove it, actually. So hopefully it's gone soon enough. So yeah, so let's go back to our slide. So as I said, data queries, mobile apps, very important. Now, the next thing we're going to come across is QR codes. Now, you'll find this quite often. You find it wherever you go nowadays, people are sharing QR codes and whatnot. Now, a lot of students say to us, well, I've never actually done this before. How do we actually scan a QR code? All right, so I've actually got a QR code over here. So I'm just going to go to the page. I'll come back to these slides, don't worry. I just wanted to show you an example. So here's an example of a QR code. So I'm sure you guys have all seen this little guy before, right? But now you'll be asking yourself, okay, now how do I actually use the QR code? So I'm just going to get my little phone back again. All right, so how do we use it? Well, the nice thing is when you scroll down on the top of your screen, all right, I'm just going to hammer it in there. Scroll down, you'll see you get all these features that pop up. And just below this little row over here, you can sort of move your finger, drag it down. And then, of course, you've got all your quick access options here. So if I go to the right, I will see there's an option saying scan QR code. Cool. So I'm going to select that option. And what is going to happen is you'll see immediately, and you're going to see it on my screen. This is going to be quite interesting. I'm going to try and get the QR code to scan itself in. All right, so there we go. You can just see it's moved across a little bit. Very tricky to do what I'm doing, by the way. And then you'll see it pops up this little menu saying, okay, you've scanned this QR code, which basically means there's an address involved. Do you want to open the link? And then I'm just going to say, yes, sure, because this is David. I'm sharing something with you. And then I'm going to click on it over there. And what happens is then it will open that link for you. So a QR code is basically just a code that allows your device to access a link of sorts. Okay, I see mine is just very, very slow. Able to load up here. I'm doing many things at the same time. There we go, and there we go. There comes the site. So okay, so actually the add-off site that's busy opening at the minute. So there you can see, guys, just as easy as that. Now, of course, depending on which device you're using, you might need to go find where that option is for QR code. Just like I said yesterday, Android, iOS got a little bit different setup, so you might just need to go fiddle a bit to see exactly where the feature is sitting. It's not always in the same place, unfortunately. But for Android users, maybe Samsung users, that's exactly where we'll find it. Okay, so I see the site is very slow, Richard. I think a lot of students have actually joined it. Okay, and there you'll actually see one of the courses which I definitely think you guys should be engaging in is the STU 100 Basic Skills in Using My Modules. Why is this important? Because this is where you find all the study materials that you're going to need, your communication, the announcements, pretty much everything about your modules is sitting there. So this one will also teach you how to submit your assignments if they're written or multiple choice. So this one I definitely recommend. Okay, but I wanted to show you the QR code. So that's really what I wanted to show you at the minute, how that works. Okay, so let's just go back. So that's how QR codes work. Quite nice little shortcuts. So let's go back to where we were. Oops, jumping around a bit. So QR codes are quite easy. I'm going to show you how to save as a PDF as well. So for now, don't worry about it because it's still coming up, but I just put it in here just to say that, okay, that one we will tackle when I show you the Microsoft 365 app that you've got access to. This one is very interesting, your service mode. Now, please don't type this in, otherwise it's going to lock your phone. So what you do is, right, you can dial *#0*#, but this is only for Samsung users. It's called the service maintenance mode. So what it does is it puts your phone into a service mode where you can actually go test out your mic, your cameras. So it's very much designed for the technicians out there to actually run through the whole process of actually testing out your device to see if there is a physical hardware problem that's occurring in your device. So that one can work very well, but I'm not going to be able to show you because it's going to lock my phone, and then it's very tricky to get out of it as well. So you're going to be zapping those buttons till your fingers hurt, especially in the mode that I'm doing now by showing you on my screen. So it's very, very tricky to do. So just if you want, you can go try this out, but just take note, make sure you're not connected to anything. You can actually see how the service mode works. So it's actually very cool. You can even do a Google search if you just want to watch it on YouTube to see how this function works. And it's just a nice way to test the hardware. I haven't found for Huawei phones or iOS phones if there is such a feature. It looks like it's maybe hidden. But for Samsung, I managed to find this, which was actually quite cool. All right, another question that comes up, and you'll see it deals with flight mode, all right, especially for exams. If you're using a proctoring tool and they say to you, you must put your phone into flight mode. Now, what's this flight mode about? Flight mode, guys, is really about as if you're climbing on an aircraft and they want you not to engage in anything of your phone. So, because remember, the aircraft uses Wi-Fi. It's busy communicating with all the devices inside the aircraft, and they don't want the thing to get confused. So, flight modes is the same thing that we use. Now, with your phone, again, if we scroll down again twice, you'll see there's a little option there called flight mode. So, what happens when I hit it? It's going to switch off my Wi-Fi and my data. So, you'll immediately see these two functions actually go off, and it even switches off Bluetooth there, which my car's not going to like. It's going to be complaining in any second because of discovery. Yeah, so there we go. So it switches off anything it's going to basically allow communication. That's what flight mode does. So that's how you switch it on. So you won't get calls. You won't get pretty much everything. It's going to block it. So this is a good feature to know about, especially when you're writing your exams. So let me switch it back on again. Okay, and you'll see the data goes on. The Wi-Fi is going to reconnect. And hopefully my Bluetooth will also reconnect. And there we go. So it's quite a quick little guide to do, and it's quite useful. Right, so that's the one feature there, and you can see all the things that are popping up on my screen. Right, let's move on. The next one we're going to look at is, okay, device care we did tackle yesterday. So if you did miss it, I'll quickly show you where it's located. You'll find it under settings. Again, depending on the model of your phone, it might be somewhere else. So please go through yesterday's video. We did share all the different features about device care, to how to look after your device, to free up its memory, to check the battery, to the internal memory, the storage, all right, to see how much space you got available, and also just to do a threat assessment, which it can do for you. So yep, so please go check that out that we did yesterday as well. The next fun one is your browser tabs. Now this is interesting. How often do we get students that come to us and you've got like 1 billion tabs open? So what am I talking about? All right, so let me go open Google Chrome, for example. Okay, so my browser opens, beautiful, and it's picking up a whole bunch of stuff. Then I can hit the buttons right on the top. So the top left-hand corner right over there, you'll hit the button. And then I can actually see all the features of my phone. If I go down a little bit, desktop site, I'll show you this in a second. Okay, so that basically is the one way to go and see your deleting browser history, but I'm still going to come back to that one. Right, so currently you see there's a little 1 there, right? So if I go click on this, it basically tells you how many tabs do you have, not a problem. So how many tabs do you have open and available already? So ideally, guys, you should only have one. Okay. The problem is when you've got too many tabs opening, like I'm just going to open a few now, you'll see the number starts going up. So a lot of students come to me and they show me their phones and it's like 15 or 20. Just remember, all of these tabs is using something in the background there. It might be data, it might be your connection, it might just be taking up memory. So make sure you go and close the tabs that you're no longer using. Okay, guys, otherwise it's simply just going to munch up all that space and the resources of your phone. It's going to slow it down. So if it's exam time, make sure you come and close them. You can just click on the X or tap them and make sure that you've only got the browser open that you need to use. Okay, cool. So that's definitely one thing that's very important. The next one is cookies. What are cookies, people? Not the thing that you're going to eat. You can post in the chat. What are cookies? Let's hear from you guys. What do you think a cookie is? I just want to switch my Bluetooth on. I don't know why it's still complaining. It shouldn't be. Okay, cool. Right, in the chat, Richard, are we getting any responses about cookies?
Let me quickly see. I see there's still students struggling with sound. If you do have struggle with sound, please join on YouTube. You can still have the chat open to participate, but that might give you a better experience. The website that can be harmful to your device, adverts, access to websites, there are trackers. Collect the data there, that's a big one. Adverts, that's how they track you across all the sites. My Facebook knows.
Good answer.
Track a lot.
Okay, no, Billy. Aren't cookie scammers? No, we'll explain it now. Okay, yes, I see some very good answers coming up, guys. Very, very good. I hope you guys are not using AI to answer those questions, by the way. You know, you guys are getting very good with your technology. Okay, yeah, so cookies are little files that write to your device, all right, when you access websites. Now, the problem is those cookies sometimes get corrupted, or the website updates and the cookie doesn't update, and then you find that it hangs. And then when you contact UNISA, they'll say to you, please clear your cookies, because that might be the problem. And once you clear the cookies, voila, then you'll see your phone or your device goes back to normal. So let me zoom in again. You guys have got some brilliant answers there. How do I access the cookies? Okay, so it's quite easy. I'm just going to again select my menu, and you'll see the very option over there. It's called delete browsing data. So I go zap it. And then you'll see it says more options. And then it's going to give you up a nice little menu that you can actually go look at. So you can delete your browsing history, cookies and site data. Okay, so that tick means if I clear it, it's going to click 77 sites that I've accessed on my phone. Okay, so it's got cookies for that many sites. It's going to clear my cache and image files, because those little temporary files that write to your device that's busy stealing some space, it's going to clear them as well. Then you'll notice there's some others like autofilm, data, and save password. So if you accidentally click on the website and it says, do you want me to save your password? And you're in a rush, you hit yes, this is how you go and clear it. You just select this little option over here. Then it will clear it for you. It won't remember your password anymore. So this is very, very useful. So all you need to do then from there is click delete data. I don't know what 77 files I'm deleting, but I'm praying it's something I don't need to worry about. Don't worry, I don't use this browser that often anyway. Okay, cool. So there we go, guys. And that's how you clear your cookies on your device. Very, very straightforward, very, very easy to do. All right, so let's continue. The next thing we're going to look at is, nope, let me just zoom out again. A little bit tricky, as I said, is basically screen grabs. Okay, how do we do a screen grab? Depending on your phone, there's a different combination. So all I'm going to do is on my phone, I'm going to use the two buttons. I'm going to take a quick screen grab. You'll see that it just flashes there very quickly, and then you'll see the picture will automatically be sent to your, in this case, your gallery. So you can actually say, what do I want to open it with? I'm just going to say gallery for now. Okay, I know I zoomed out. Hopefully it's not too small. Okay, and that's my screen grab. I just took a picture of the actual site that I was on. Okay, so that's where it goes in. So that's my screen grab, guys. It looks exactly the way it was. So let me just clear that one as well. All right, cool. So that's quite important. Then the next thing we're going to do is zooming in and out. So that's quite easy. All right, so how do we zoom in and out? So sometimes on your site or your browser, let me just open it over here. Okay, let me go to one of my favorite ones. Sky Sports, yes. Right, do not work for Sky Sports, so I can't really say that I am giving them freebies here. Okay, so here we go. So here's an article. So how do I zoom out and in? I can simply use my fingers, my thumb and my pointing finger, by just moving on my screen together and away from each other, and you can see the effect. So I know probably all of you guys know this already, right? Okay, so it's easy stuff. How do I scroll? Up and down, just using my finger as well. So that's why it's important to what? Look after your screen. All right, so your screen, try to have that screen protector so you don't end up damaging the screen, because that will make this features of scrolling in and out, up and down, it will actually cause a lot of trouble for you then, and it won't be easy to do that. So that's also very important with your device. Keep it there. Another interesting option is orientation. Okay, so why is that important? So let me show you guys. So if I go to my menu option again, let me zoom back in again. You'll see there's an option now. I personally like to switch it off. It's called rotate. Now, where is it hiding? Where art thou hiding? Rotate. Ah, there it is. Portrait. Sorry. Okay. So once I select it, it now goes to auto rotate. So what does this allow me to do? Well, the nice thing is it allows me now to change the view of my screen. Okay. Sometimes we do tell you guys to do this when you're doing multiple choice questions, all right? And maybe the portrait way it's not really displaying it that great because it's vertical. Then you can easily just rotate your phone and then switch it this way. I see the manager there look very angry. I was equally as angry as he was with that match. But anyway, so there we go. So there you can actually see how this can work for you. So this is an important skill to have, because when you do your practice exams, we do suggest go have a look at this feature. There's another feature. Okay, but now I don't like my rotation like this. So I prefer to switch it off. And just by doing it like that, you'll see it actually locks the screen. Cool, so have a look at this one now. So I've got my web browser here. It looks great. And let me just close it. I just want to go back to the site. We'll just go back over here. Okay, oh, things are popping up on my screen over here. So let me go back to my Google, sorry. I was actually just opened the web browser. So you notice there I was using Samsung internet, right? Not Google as such. Okay, so I'm back to Google. All right, so in the ... again, I can hit it. We had a look at this one. Then you'll scroll down your feed. You'll see another option called desktop site. So what does it do? So I'm going to select it. And what's going to happen is now my browser is going to behave as if I'm accessing it through my desktop computer or laptop. A little bit tricky. The reason being, okay, it's going to take a little bit of time to load, but it will be a lot slower though. That's one thing you'll notice. So it's okay to do it with some functions. Maybe it will squash in the whole web page on the one screen for you, but it does slow it down quite a lot. I'm going to take a chance and use Fuse. It just looks a little bit different. It looks a lot smaller. That's definitely something you will see about this feature. So again, in our exams, we actually do refer to this option if it gives you a better experience. Depending on your device, guys, it is something you can explore. So do have a look at it as well. So yeah, how do I switch it back again? Very easily. You simply can just go back down there and then unselect it. And then it'll go back the way it was. Okay, I see mine is really unselected because it picks up the website that it doesn't fit in very well. Then it's going to try and go you back to the previous version. So yeah, this is quite something different. Although personally, I wouldn't use it. It is slower, but it's something useful if you want to play around with the setting on your device and actually have a look and see how does it work. Connecting to a laptop, quite interesting. I can't show you via the internet, but I've got a nice little picture here for you. So there you can see you've got lots of devices that connect to your laptops. I know that nowadays you've got USB-C that you can connect, so it's very easy to do. So when I connect my phone, it's actually going to ask me, what do I want to do with this connection? Let me see if it's still there. There it is over there. So let me scan back in again. Sorry, I keep forgetting I must go back in. Okay, so there you'll see file transfer for USB. So there we go. If I go select it, this is where you're basically telling the device now with your laptop connected, how do you want your phone to be seen? So this is very important. Do you want to transfer files? It can do that for you. If you want to back up your phone, yep. You can use tethering, you can use MIDI. I haven't used MIDI in ages. Transferring images, especially from your gallery, and charging phone only. So you can actually basically say to your laptop, how do you want this device to behave? So yep, go play around. If you do have a laptop and a smartphone, connect it to with the cable. Try to make sure it's a good quality cable and actually go test it out and see how does your phone behave. Can you see it in terms of your file explorer, or how does it behave? Then this is actually how you can go change it as well. I know a lot of you students love to use your phones as USBs. Okay, so yes, and normally then they use this very option on top here. So it kind of makes it into a big USB. All right, so yeah, so that's quite a fun option there that you can also go play around with for that type of feature. Don't worry, guys. As I said, all this content I'm showing you is under Unit 2, so we have stored it all the way there for you. Hotspotting, my favorite friend. All right, so how do we do hotspotting? It's actually very easy. What is hotspotting, actually? Maybe post it in the chat for me quickly. What is hotspotting? In your own words, what is hotspotting? Okay, Richard, so I'm going to come join you now. Let me see what's happening in the chat. What is hotspotting? I see someone was asking, what is MIDI? That was just a type of file format that allows your phone to speak to your laptop. Okay, it's just a different file format that we used to use quite, well, it's been around for quite a while. Okay, hotspotting. I love the answers that are coming through here. Internet pool. That is such a brilliant answer. I didn't see who you were, but I just saw the answer there. Fantastic. You guys are awesome. Now, hopefully we're not going to kill you with the online thing, but we're trying to help you guys to get as many skills to make your studies as possible. You guys are brilliant. Well done. I see a lot of right answers popping up over there. Okay, hotspotting, guys. How do we do it? Luckily, none of you are hopefully not living near me, so I can show you. All right, so what I do is I go to my quick menu and you'll see the option of hotspotting. I'm going to select it now. And then what happens is, whoops, and I actually just accidentally removed it. So what will happen is it will come on, right? There you can see it. My Wi-Fi will go off. My data has to be on though. Okay, so in essence, I'm telling my phone, you're going to become the internet for me that I can connect with my other Wi-Fi products around the house. Then what I got to do is on mobile hotspot, I'm going to keep my finger down for a few seconds, and then it's going to pop up a menu. So it's going to tell me the name of my device. It's going to give you the password and the megahertz, the band in which it's working. And that's quite a technical thing, so you don't have to worry too much about it. But it basically just means at this signal level, the devices there can see you now. And if they have your password, they'll be able to connect to you, and then they can start using your data. I do not recommend using auto hotspot because if you do travel a lot, there's always people sniffing around, seeing what they can get hold of and how they can get into devices. So I actually don't even recommend it there as well. So yeah, you can even scan the QR code here for the hotspot if you want to share it with friends and family that maybe they come over and you want to hotspot from your phone. And then of course it will show you when people are connected, who they are and how much data they're using. So if you've got kids, you'll see this amount will fly up very quickly because they're probably all sitting on TikTok or YouTube or something like that. Then you can actually measure how much data is getting munched. So hotspotting, definitely useful. You can connect to your Wi-Fi. So basically all I need to do from here is go and tell my device to check which Wi-Fi connections are open, and I just look for the name of my device. And there it is over there. And then I can connect. So if you've got Wi-Fi at home, right, let's say a fiber connection, and you're writing an exam, just have your mobile device handy, just in case fiber happens to go down because they're doing maintenance or whatever reason. Then at least you can quickly connect with your hotspot and continue, because it's actually quite quick. It's not too slow. Definitely a very good, useful option. Let me switch it off, because I don't actually need it at the minute. So there, you can switch it off just like that, and you'll see all the menu options of where you're connecting to comes on again. So guys, very importantly, installing apps, uninstalling apps. I showed you that. So just remember to remove, basically uninstall, just remove those apps. We do get this question quite a lot. What should I buy if I'm going to shop around for a smartphone and a laptop? Definitely be warned. At this point, America, or should we say Microsoft and China, are having issues. That means the Microsoft 365 app might not be available on your Huawei phone. Huawei phone or devices on our UNISA network do also struggle. We can't always connect you guys. You don't even see our Wi-Fi because that's a bit of a gray area why we can't use those devices. So just be careful of such devices, especially if you add very much a Microsoft. For now, we're using Microsoft with all our study things. Then you might need to actually just be aware of that type of problem with Huawei. But yeah, laptops, guys, i3 processor, AMD entry level, those are perfectly cool. You can study with them. Personally, I would avoid Celeron processors. They tend to just be very slow and not very productive. I've seen quite a few of those, and it's not the greatest thing to use, actually. And of course, your phone does have a recycle bin, as I showed you in device care yesterday. So please take note that you can actually go and recover some of your things that you've deleted. So lots of technical skills, and I've just rushed through a whole bunch of them. But as I said, they are available to you. I did see a pop-up there that's about online learning and killing yourself, or it's going to kill you, sorry. Please do not do that. Mobile learning, guys, look, it's around the world. This is not just a South African thing or an African thing. It is all around the world. There's a good question about MacBooks, Richard. Which apps can I install to get Windows? Yep, there is some. And maybe if we can share with the student there, that'll be great. Yes, there is options available. There are quite a lot of students that use Macs as well. I wish I was one of them. Okay, so learning, guys, is really giving you the opportunity to be mobile. And that's kind of important because once you have a laptop and a smartphone, or either of them, I mean, you can honestly access anything from anywhere. Your schoolwork, I mean, everything is available to you because that's the way the world is. And COVID kind of pushed us even further and quicker into it. So it's really important. So why do you need to have these skills? Well, you need to know how to access things. Accessibility is key because a lot of students are working. They work all around the world. Which laptop is best? Unfortunately, have a look at the processor is the key. Have a look at the processor and what type of hard drive is it using. So SSD, solid state drive, is the quickest one, so it's really, really cool. Can I upgrade Celeron? Most likely not. Laptops are very seldom upgradable, so that's a problem once you've bought that hardware. I'm just seeing some of the questions popping up there. Learning management system, guys, that's your MyUnisa. That's where we connect. Remember what I told you? We built MyUnisa onto Moodle. Okay, so that's the end of Moodle. Now you don't have to worry about it. We just focus on MyUnisa, my modules. Student engagement, it allows us to connect students from all over the world. There are students attending this meeting, guys, in a different time zone than us, in a different part of the world than us. That's a fact, but they're attending and they're hopefully enjoying the session. There are challenges. That's why we're having these workshops, guys. Getting your device, checking out the device care, for example, making sure your device works as proper as it can. I know it's a good investment to get a laptop, students. Really mean this because your mobile screen is very, very small, which means you're going to be hurting your eyes. So please do once a year a check on your eyes. I cannot stress that enough. You have to be positive when you're studying ODL, guys, like you are. The students who we're meeting, you guys come up with solutions, you help each other. It is super impressive to see those skills are critical in the workplace. So what you're learning here is definitely going to benefit you in the long term. And of course, we do recommend, as I said, try and get a laptop. It's just a little bit bigger and it can work better. Remember, guys, we did cover this yesterday. We've got Android users. Most of you guys said you are Android users. And we do also have the iPhone technologies as well. We will share a little bit of a poll with you when Richard comes on. So if you guys can also just check out and we can share some of the answers to the questions that we post there, just to gauge what you guys are doing. The Adobe LMS, guys, it does work beautifully on your phone. So you do need to, I'm not going to really touch on this at the minute because I know time is on the essence, but we have got a nice section, a lesson that covers all these elements about how to navigate the Adobe LMS. That is our learning management system. So if you're just not too sure, it's your first time, run through the course, you'll see basically how all the menu works, how to access it, and it's actually pretty cool. So yes, I just put that there, but unfortunately time is a problem. You guys are new to UNISA, right? As I said to you earlier, STU 100, you'll find it on our My Student Skills Hub. Please go do this course. If you are able to scan it with your phone, that's great, because if you're using a phone, it'll be very difficult to do. But definitely this is a course that you should do. It will take you maybe an hour to go through, not that bad. Work through it, it's free. It'll give you a better understanding how my modules works. And before you get to your exams, we will have workshops, okay? So we will be covering the basic skills on online exams, how to take you step by step through everything you need to know, the proctoring tools, how do you know which tools, how to practice those tools, so that when you get for your actual exam that you're super ready, that you can nail them first time. So that's part of the course. So as you'll see in the course, guys, we do have built-in activities that you must please complete. As we indicated yesterday, a lot of this information is important to us, but of course it will make doing the course a lot more fun as well. So now I'm going to hand over to Richard, who's going to continue with learning unit number 3, where we're going to look at productivity tools. So this is critical. So just remember, guys, this stuff is free for you. So I'm going to hand over to Richard, and he's going to show us, and then I'll pop back again to show you a few things about the Microsoft app. Over to you, Richard.
Okay, thank you, David. Just a quick reminder. So in the chat, the students are asking when are you going to show the PDF conversion with your mobile phone as well. I think you'll probably do that when you show the Office 365 app. Just another point I picked up in the chat is quite a lot of students asking they're having difficulty signing in to my UNISA, my modules. Now, especially if you claimed your account for the first time, I realized that today with a student, the your password you'll get looks almost something like this. Now, let's see if anybody can spot what makes this password very difficult to type in. When you actually get sent this password, what makes it a bit difficult for the first time? Let's see if anybody can find what makes it difficult. Pick up the characters, the uppercase and the lower cases. Yes, there we go, Kellen. So this student was actually struggling now for a week to log in. So what they actually thought this was an L, but actually this was an uppercase I. So if I type in here, for instance, uppercase L, just a normal L, then it looks like that. If I type in an uppercase I, then it also looks like that. So when you get your passwords, and if you struggle, especially with a new password to log in, just have a look for what is a lowercase character and what can be an uppercase character. So usually it's the I that gives problems, and then obviously the uppercase O that you might think is a 0. So just note, depending on the font that they send it to, that you usually get it in. Even if you put it on WhatsApp, you can't actually distinguish between the L's and the O's always. So just note that when you do struggle to log in. Okay, but as David mentioned, we will start now with productivity apps. I'm just going to start the presentation over here. Now, all of us have used productivity apps. That's the things that you use to create, edit, or manage documents, such as presentations and spreadsheets. This is what you're going to be using both in your academic and professional settings. To an extent that you're really going to get bored of it. I see there's already people complaining about their eyes with online learning. Try working these days. Everything is now on computers. But let us know in the chat what type of productivity apps are you currently using? What are you a fan of? If you're more a fan of Google, how can I say, Sheets and their Word documents, or you're more Office, we use Microsoft 365 type of tools. What productivity apps do you currently use? And remember, think outside of the box. Productivity apps can even be broader. It can be things that you use to edit images. Can be, where you store different information, like a catalog, like a file. You can create movies or your TikTok account. All of that can be productivity tools. I see there's a lot of Office 365 and a lot of G Suites. Google still a big fan. Yeah, no, that's very good. Now, interesting when you do productivity apps, you can start learning the one, but it's also good to explore different ones, such as Google Docs and the ones that are available. That's a bit different because you'll soon realize it just makes it for you a lot easier than to jump to in the future to new applications. You might go into the work and they use Office, Microsoft Office, then you can adjust to it. Or you might go to Office and they're using Google services, and then you can quickly jump to Google Docs because the way it all works is relatively the same. It's just how can I say, you must start understanding the functionality behind it. So just some examples, Microsoft Office Suite traditionally were Word, PowerPoint, Excel. Word is for creating text documents, PowerPoint for your presentations, and you'll do it probably also when you present later on in your studies. Excel is more for calculations, so if you're doing, for instance, accounting, but you can actually do graphs and research from the data as well. Now, as we mentioned, the cloud-based alternatives is the Google Workspace, and with the Google Doc Sheets and Slides, works relatively the same as Office. And then we've got LibreOffice, that is an open source version. So if you're very security conscious, you can I say also a Linux fan, LibreOffice is one of your best places to go. Now, just note as well, Microsoft and Google both provide the services online for free. But generally, for the Microsoft Office, if you install it on Windows, that's when you require a license. So just take note of that. Now, one thing that you need to understand when we're going to start looking at these modern productivity apps is cloud computing. Now, in the old days, what you used to do is you go to the shop, you buy an Office CD with a key on it, you can install it on your computer, and everything runs locally. Then after 2 years, they'll bring out a new fancy version, and then you'll go buy the product again, and then install it again on your computer, and that's how it basically worked. But when the internet became more accessible, cloud computing or application providers quickly realized the subscription models work better for them, and how they convince people that it will work better for them as well is by the services, additional services that it provides. And this could not be possible if we were not using cloud computing. Now, there's quite a few different cloud computing platforms. So you get, for instance, infrastructure as a service. That's where you've got a virtualized computer running. So maybe for those people that's running Mac, instead of installing Windows on your Mac, you might just do a virtual PC running on somebody else's server. Then you get platform as a service. This is where you can actually deploy apps. So if you like making apps, and you can even release shops and all kinds of things. So that is where you also run it on their hardware, where they actually provide you a platform for you to release this on. And then the most important one that we're going to be looking at today is software as a service. Now, this is where, for instance, Google falls in, and Microsoft 365. This is where you actually use the apps on their platform. And with a UNISA student, you will have a Microsoft 365 account that's linked to your MyLife account. So that's just note where you in UNISA use Microsoft. So unfortunately, we don't use Google within the university. So software as a service is basically where you access all of these utilities. Now, what is the benefits for you, especially as a student as well, to these types of services? And firstly is the accessibility. We study these days, then you're on your phone, then you're on your laptop. So you want to access it from different places. Now, this makes it very easy. Everything syncs up to the cloud, basically, and it always downloads the latest copy. Obviously, it uses data within those transactions. It also is very cost effective. A lot of the applications that you can run these days, some of the computing actually takes place on the servers, so you don't need that big of a laptop to actually run some of these applications. And so you don't need to buy very expensive hardware. You can actually use this online. If you've got a very old laptop, for instance, you will not even install Office. You will just go to Microsoft 365 and work with your documents online. And the biggest one that I think made it so popular is collaboration. Back in the day, we used to send documents back and forth. Say you're doing a group work with other students. The one will do a bit on the document, they'll send it to somebody else. They send it back, and you soon end up with final versions, and nobody knows what is the latest version anymore. So collaboration allows you to work on the same document at the same time. And really learn this skill, especially when you're going to be doing group work. You can all work on the same Word document. You can actually see where the others are typing. You can add to what they are typing. It's all done at the same time. And then finally, security and backup. So your data is very protected within the Microsoft 365 ecosystem and the Google ecosystem. Everything gets encrypted. But what really makes this worth it is also it gets backed up. So even a Word document, say you will be typing in the Word document, and then next day you open a Word document, you say, oh no, wait, you don't want to add that, so you can delete it, delete the text, and you type something new. So basically what you did was you created a document, you deleted the content, you added new content. But now on the third day, you come back and say, wait, I understood the question incorrectly. I want the first document back, but now you have to retype all of that. And that's where version controls comes in. So you can actually easily go back to a previous version of a document. That's how frequently it gets backed up. Every change is actually backed up that you can go back to and recover that lost information. Also, if you, for instance, your device fails, you know everything is still safe within the cloud. Even if you delete it from your computer, it's still within the online recycle bin for a longer period before it gets deleted. So you might delete it from your laptop, you might clear the recycling bin and think you lost it completely. If you actually go online to OneDrive, you'll see your files are still in that secondary recycle bin, and they keep it usually for about 3 to 6 months. So that's really why we would want to use these services and why you would want to use it as a student as well. In the past, for instance, we all used USBs, and in the labs, unfortunately, we saw a lot where students use the same USB for 3 years or so, just for the USB to one day stop working, and there's no way you can repair that. So if you get familiar with rather working with your OneDrive, for instance, in the cloud, you know everything is safe there, you can access it from anywhere. So as we mentioned, productivity apps, traditionally we would think of PowerPoint and Word specifically, but there are actually quite a few different types of productivity apps. For instance, your calendar and OneNote, Microsoft OneNote, that we'll have a look at as well. That really helps you to organize. You can do study plans, for instance, today. Set out your calendar for a certain time. OneNote is like you must think of a binder where you can put in all your notes, and that really helps you to be organized and get to the information very quickly. But we also use communication apps, the most popular being WhatsApp for your personal use. But remember, within UNISA, we use Microsoft Teams. So, this really allows us for that real-time interactions as we have this evening, where we can actually connect to you all over the country. And then there's also additional, productivity applications online available, like Khan Academy, where they actually have simulations where you can practice different, experiments, or you can learn different skills as well, all within a virtual environment. And then I just want to note again, OneDrive specifically, where you can store all your information, and it's very secure. You can even put your copies of your ID on there. If you've got a personal OneDrive, especially, they've got a vault basically that's extra protected. Now you can just think, if you lose your ID, for instance, or your driver's license, and you, for instance, overseas or you're traveling, how do you quickly get access to that again? So if you've got a copy backed up on OneDrive, you just log in onto any internet and you can download it again. Now, this really combines, with the flexibility of using multiple devices. Maybe you don't always have access to the laptop or a computer, but you've got access to your phone. So you can study on your phone, you can actually work on documents, and then later on continue on your desktop, or you can do it the other way around as well. We've actually had some students that only use their mobile these days, and they prefer it. They use the dictations, all of that, so they can actually be very productive, jumping between apps, using multiple apps to complete the task. So when it comes, especially to studying, go and explore the apps. We'll show you now how to access Microsoft 365. Look at the apps and see how you can use it to really help you in your studies. As we mentioned, OneNote is there, OneDrive, all of these applications on the platforms. But just a quick note on the core applications that you should really know as a student is Microsoft Word. That's what you will use for your assignments, the written assignments, all of how can I say, your written assignments, and even for research, when you finally get to your doctorate review for your thesis writing. So this is really a tool to invest in terms of your learning. So you can learn the features, and you'll soon find that you can actually create, very good documents at a very fast pace. So Microsoft Excel is a bit, if you're doing any analysis, say you're doing accounting, this is definitely a must. But remember, this is also if you're going to perhaps one day want to be interested in research. It's a good way to visualize data as well with graphs, and to really find what is the underlying, message below the data. Then PowerPoint or presentations. So there is quite a lot of ones available these days, as I mentioned, that you can use online. But PowerPoint, still, you've got it for free. Still use it. You can especially use it from your third year, fourth year, when you have to present to your academics. And then one of the most important ones for you as a student, I saw there was a question earlier about Microsoft Outlook as well. So remember, this is the one that you use to communicate with the university. So that's your academics, support staff, all of them. You have to use your Outlook. And that is your My Life email address. And then finally, that one that's becoming very important as well in the last 2 years is Microsoft Teams. This is where you actually join online sessions and also communicate with your fellow students as well. And especially for collaboration. Once you do teamworks, you create a team with the group of students you're grouped with, you share files, you work on the same documents at the same time. So let's quickly have a look at how do you actually access all of this. So I'm just going to open up just the browser over here. Now, very easy. Once you've claimed your MyLife account at MyUnisa, your username, your password, it usually takes about 8 hours to 24 hours for your MyLife email to be activated. So if you're still having problems just after you claimed your MyLife password, note it can take up to 24 hours. But the easiest way to log in, you can actually go to office.com. And once you're on office.com, you can sign in. Now it will ask you to then type in your email address and then also your password. So just remember, your email or the email that you put in is your student number at mylife.unisa.ac.za. And then you use your MyUnisa password. Another way to access this is if you go to MyUnisa, you can actually click here at My Life email, and this will direct you directly to Outlook. So, because it's such an important platform that you need to have access to. Now, if I go back, just go back to Portal, Office, from so once you land here, this is basically the account that you get with UNISA, the license that you get. And with this, you actually get all the productivity apps. So just a note for those that want to use this, for instance, on your laptop, if you click here at the top, install and more, here you can actually download the apps to your laptop. So just note it is available there. You don't need to go buy Office or subscribe to a subscription. You do actually get all of this for free. But obviously, when you install this on your, even if you install it on your mobile device, you need to sign in with your MyLife email. So that is how you activate the licenses. Now, if you look at what is available on here, you can get Microsoft 365 Copilot. Remember, tomorrow we're having the AI Masterclass. We will really delve into how to work with these AI technologies. You've got access to your Outlook. This is where you access your Outlook email. You've got access to OneDrive. So even in Windows, if you using Windows 11, you'll already have a OneDrive on there. You can actually add another account. You add in with your MyLife email, and then everything will be synced to your computer as well. Then we've got various productivity apps, the traditional ones, the Word, Excel, PowerPoint. We've got OneNote that's available online, and this is also available as an app. And then Teams that we are using currently, and then various other apps. Now, I want you to, in the future, we don't cover all these apps, all the trainings, but for you as a student, go have a look what Power Automate is. You can actually do very powerful automations where when you receive an email, maybe it copy that email's information into a Word document and all kinds of, things to really make tasks a bit easier. There's also, for instance, a planner app you can use to create a study plan. And then very importantly, also lists, almost like big databases, you could say. A to-do list that you can follow along, especially with your assignments, all of that, what you need to study, perhaps chapters, so you can stay on track of what needs to be done next. And then also, as we mentioned, OneNote. So I'm going to start off with OneNote. Now, one reason why I say explore those other apps as well, because you've got access to them, but it's also the things that you're going to be using in your workplace one day. So that's where you build up your skills for work job readiness. And you would really want you to, even while studying, start your own business or join a company, and then you already know how to use these various productivity apps. So if we look at OneNote, I'm going to give you this one as an example. So OneNote works like a file. So you can see basically this is a file. And this is like in the old days, we used to put different sections in them so that you can open up very quickly to a topic. And then from here, you can actually then add pages. So these are the pages basically within the, that's been allocated to a certain tab within your binder. So you can actually have one for all your modules, and then for each module, I have a breakdown of different sections. Or you might just have a study binder and have one for each of your modules, and then underneath that, add different pages. Now, what makes this, very nice to use is you can actually search across, your notes very quickly. You can add PDF documents. So you can really structure the way as you're learning. You just put in the information here. If you're doing research as well, You create a page for your research, you drop in the links, you drop in files. You can basically take any type of format. And it just helps you to really stay organized and to get information very quickly, because especially when you're starting your second year, you're going to have a lot of information. And sometimes you just want to get back to this. And you can even use this to plan for, if you're doing a project at home or anything like that, to really learn a new skill. Quick way to drop in links so that you can easily get back to it in the future. Now, Outlook, as we mentioned before, please learn this one. This is one of the most important ones that you need to learn to communicate with the university. So always send an email from here, as it does. They do only reply to emails that's sent from your MyLife email address. And then obviously you can access Sway Teams online, where you can actually how can I say, do it online, but it's always better rather on your mobile phone to have the app, or even on your laptop to have the app for this one. Now, just one that I also want to highlight is Sway. So Sway is basically a website builder. So you can do it for portfolio, you can do your CV on here. Everything is basically on here. I'm going to say different portfolios. And you actually, this sites that you create is publicly accessible. So that means you can actually just copy the link from here, you share it with somebody, and they can access it. So if I play this one, this is the type of things that you can create on here. And what's nice about these, they also have mobile apps to complement them as well. So now Denzel ended up in the AI, but he's also there. So yes, please go explore Sway. It's one of those creative ones that you can use to build up your portfolio, so that you can already link it to your LinkedIn and all of that, so people can actually see what you are learning. And you can actually, with that portfolio, really make something that's very unique and really tells your whole story of everything that you know. So this is all available on Office 365 with your MyLife email. We do have other workshops where we delve into more specifically on the individual apps, especially, for instance, when we're going to do the female tech next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, where we really leverage the power of the engaged community. So the engaged community is basically where you can connect with other students. You can, how can I say, chat with them. You can post questions. You can get answers to questions. So if you're interested, please come and join our Her Tech workshop next week, where we will really delve into this engaged community. And remember, it's open to everybody, but the focus is just a little bit more on the specific requirements for female students. Now, as we mentioned, the power of this is really the integrations of where you can actually have this app. As you can see, you can have it basically in your in the cloud. So basically accessing them on your browser, like I did just now. And then you can have the same apps actually installed on your computer. So for instance, here I've got the Microsoft Word, and everything syncs up. So if I save it here to my OneDrive, it will go to the cloud, it will go to my phone. And that's how you can really be very productive in working with multiple devices. And the world is all about collaboration, especially now where people are more working on the road, working at home even. These tools are the ones that allows you to communicate with everybody around the world, and also do productive work at the same time. And as we mentioned, you can access it from anywhere. So as a student, even you might be getting contract work, and then suddenly you have to relocate to a different location. We actually see a lot of our students, for instance, accessing it from countries in Asia, India, Pakistan, the Pacific Ocean. So you never know where life is going to take you. And by having this all in an online environment, you can still access everything and continue working. So OneDrive is the one that we had a look at. So OneDrive is available on your computer. So if you're on Windows, you'll actually have this OneDrive icon where you can actually click on, and you'll see a little cloud that everything syncs up. And then all that information will then be available in the OneDrive online. So I'll just quickly open up that one. So we just go here, OneDrive. So everything I do here will be synced back to my computer, and I can access it here and on my phone. Now, there's also a few scanning apps. David will show the Office 365 app a little bit later. I preferably, I quite like Microsoft Lens, but you can even use OneDrive as well. The OneDrive app's got a scanning feature as well. And this is the tools that you will really need for your examinations, especially if you're doing written exams. If you don't have a scanner, you scan in documents if you've written them out by hand. But obviously the preferred method will always be typing it out in Microsoft Word. As we mentioned, OneNote, really going to have a look at the app. It integrates with all these different documents that you can embed into them. And it really just makes it a lot easier for you to stay in control of all the information on your digital device. And then obviously communication tools. So remember, there's quite a lot available. The official ones that UNISA is using is Microsoft Teams. So just be wary when you join WhatsApp groups, Telegrams, and all of these. This is usually what they use for data mining, and then it's where they get all your information and start spamming you, pretending to be offers from UNISA. So just remember, everything that UNISA provides you is always free. Even tutorial classes, face-to-face tutorials, everything is always free. So just a quick note, we do have a STU Basic Skills in Microsoft 365 on ADOVH. Go have a look at it to get an introduction to all these apps. It's also very hands-on where you do activities, so you actually learn these skills very quickly. But before I hand over to David, especially if you're interested in Copilot, as you saw, it's available within your subscription with UNISA. So if we go here, for instance, let me just go back to the main page. Microsoft Copilot. If you want to start learning how to use Microsoft Copilot, specifically the generative AI usage of it, and how to use it within your studies in an ethical way, so you don't get picked up by a filter that they use to check for AI content, to how to use it responsibly as a tutor that you go interact with back and forth. Please join us in tomorrow's session. But for now, I will hand over to David that will quickly give you an introduction on the mobile phone, on the Office 365 app, and then how it actually then also, you'll notice all the apps are the same that you get online and on your computer, and then also how to use some of the extra features such as scanning documents. Thanks, David.
Thanks, Richard. So, yep, there we go, guys. Thank you so much for that. Lots of useful information. I see the chat. There's quite a lot of questions about FYE, guys. I did post it in the chat there for you. FYE at UNISA. You can contact them that way so that you can get the answers to the questions. We can't answer all the questions, guys. Some of them are module specific. So you need to go check with your lecturers and find out. All right, so as Richard said, we've got the Microsoft 365 app. So in the chat, please tell me yes or no. Have you or are you starting to use the Microsoft 365 app? It looks something like this over here. So yep, please let us know in the chat. I just want to see how many of you guys have actually started using it. I hope you guys are enjoying it because it does make life a lot easier. And mostly I know it's ready on your phone. So if it's ready there, why not? You've got your My Life email, so you just log in the same way. And yeah, okay, a lot of yeses, a couple of no's, but mostly we're getting yeses, so that looks good. Okay, cool. So let's go have a look at this Microsoft 365 app. So you'll find it over here. You'll be able to open it. Okay, I've already logged in just to save us a bit of time because I know it does take a few seconds. So if I click on my little profile, it should tell me my student email address is there. Okay, so that's very important. You mustn't see Gmail or anything else because that is not your UNISA account. So you should see your student number at My Life. And if it's not the right one, you can add or switch accounts using this little link over here. And there, of course, is Copilot as well, because with UNISA, you do have access to Copilot. It's part of the Microsoft products. Okay, cool. So let's have a look. So I've logged in. Okay, so then once I get in, I can actually see some of the files that are sitting already on my account. Okay, so as I said, one of the things that is very important is now I'm currently in my OneDrive, just like Richard showed you. Doesn't matter if I go through my web browser or through my phone. OneDrive, if I'm logging in with the same details, it will always have the same files available to me. Remember what we said about working in the cloud, meaning you can access all your stuff wherever you are. So one of the fun things is your PowerPoint, right? For example, he has PowerPoint. I'm just going to open it. Now, let's say this is my assignment, right? And the lecturer says I must upload it in a PDF format. How am I going to do that? It's actually very easy. Once I've opened the document, in this case it's PowerPoint, you'll see there's a ... And if I click on that ... you'll see there's a Save As option or Share as PDF. Okay, so it's actually quite easy to do. I'm just going to say Save As. Then it's going to say, where do you want to save it? Exactly like Richard was saying, on your Google Drive, on this device, on your OneDrive for the student. Okay, now that's a useful option. Let me go save it there. And I've got a whole bunch of folders here. Let me just go down to the bottom. And I'm just going to maybe call it assignment 1 or something like that. Then click on save. There we go. So just like that, guys, saving is so simple. You can go try it out. Go try out the other features as well. Okay, I see it's taking a bit of time. Just go check again. Let me just see if I get other options here. I don't see them. Okay, all right, that's fine. Let me go back. Okay, then I'm going to just go back again. Is my PDF option run away to? Let's run away again. Okay, let me just reset where I am. Sorry, let me go back. Can we go back? Okay. Okay, so there I've saved my document. Let me try again. There, convert to PDF. Oh, sorry, the ... you can also use it this way. I think this is probably the better way to do it. Click on convert to PDF. Then you don't have to worry about the location or whatnot because it's automatically going to pick up where you are. And it's simply going to convert to PDF as well. And there we go. Excellent. So there's my assignment in PDF. So look, this app, there's lots of different ways to do it, guys. You can go share the file. You can print the file if you want. You can go edit it if still. And you can actually go play around and convert it back to Word if you do have that option. So yeah, look, there's a lot of features in here as well, saving as well. So yep, what we do expect you to do is go to explore a bit to see what else you can actually do in the app itself. Let me just go back. Quite interesting when you're doing it on 2 different locations. So let me just go back again. I know it's going to be a little bit slow. Okay, just give it a few seconds. I just discarded it because it's going to take a while. So for you, I can see my files. So if I click on my files, then I can see all my other files that I've already got. For you, it's probably just the files you've accessed recently, and then you've also got libraries. So it depends on what you've saved. The things like Sway and Whatluck, those type of documents, Notepad, you can also probably put them under here as well. So you can have a look at this. You'll see my phone option currently says I don't really have anything on this side that I'm sharing with that side. So, okay, so that's quite nice to know. So yes, you can see your files here, guys. You can access it on the app itself. So you'll see here at the bottom, move a bit back, there's the OneDrive that we are actually looking at. Then you've also got a capture option,
David.
which is like taking a picture. Yes.
Just have one question. Can you edit the PDF document in the app? That's from the chat.
In the app itself.
Yes, if you open up a PDF document, usually you can write on it, just do minor editing on it.
I'll have to fiddle around with that one because I don't think I've got a PDF here. I'll have to play around. I'm not too sure on that feature yet. I haven't fiddled around with it enough. So sorry, just to continue, we've also got the capture option. So here's the scan option that Richard was referring to earlier, where you can actually scan your documents. For example, I'm just going to click on scan. It's going to open my computer. So let's say this is my laptop over here. Then I'm going to do a quick scan of this badge. It's a bit tricky to hold it. All right, there we go. Then I can just say copy. That's on my clipboard. So it's like copy and paste. I can go back again. All right, and let's go see, maybe let me go open my apps over here. Let's say there's the PDF tools, so it could be under there. Let me just see if I can find. Where's my Microsoft Word vanished to? Oh my gosh, I'm not registered. Maybe that's why. Okay, guys, so obviously if you're not registered for the current register year, you might find some of your tools are missing. Like in my case, I have not registered, so I don't have access to Word and Excel and PowerPoint and all those features. So unfortunately on my side, Richard, it might explain why I'm not seeing some of the things I should be seeing, because this is my student account and I haven't registered yet. So I don't have all the apps available to me. So unfortunately, that's a bit of a trick I didn't realize until now. So that's going to be a bit of a tricky thing. Yeah, okay. So, yep. So guys, fortunately, that one had caught me. Let me just check under create. Okay, there's Microsoft Word. Is it going to let me? Is it, or is it going to tell me my license is expired? Hopefully not. Okay, I'm getting a little bit lucky. So there's my paste button. There it's basically scanned the information. I don't know if you guys saw that. Whoops, I don't know what that is. Shift, I hope. And there Elsa's laptop. So it actually took all the text there and it just pasted it in. So I didn't even capture it as a picture as such. But yeah, so guys, this app, you're going to have to go play around with it. I know it's quite a lot of things that you can do. Hopefully next time, Richard, you'll also have it on your device. But yes, so go check it out. OneDrive, use the capture feature, go and create. It's all on the website. There's the PDF option over there. So maybe this is what you guys were asking previously, where you can actually capture a photo or import a document. So quite nice tools over here that you can go play around with. So yep, so I do recommend you guys go play around with it. We just basically wanted to show you how the app looks, but it is a lot more you can do in this app. And yeah, just make sure you log in with your student details. There's quite a lot of things. There's your Outlook, of course, that's useful. And you'll notice you need to install them as well. So the app doesn't come with them automatically enabled. So yep, there we go, colleagues and students. So please do go play around with this app. It won't take you that long to figure it out. It's just a matter of playing around and seeing how it all functions. And there's even your Copilot. So if you want to use Copilot, you can even go start a new chat. But as Richard said, tomorrow we are doing the AI Masterclass. So please do come and join us as well. At the same time, different links. So please check carefully on the invite just to make sure you're coming to the right course. So yep, so I hope you guys have learnt a lot. There's a lot more we can show you, but do engage with the course. And so that you guys can come play around with all these different technologies to enhance your studies, because that's really what we want you to do. Then I'm going to hand over to Nafma, Sammy, who's going to come and speak to you guys about the course and with regards to the very important post-assessment and course evaluations. Over to you, Nafma.
Thank you so much, David. Okay, let me know when you can see my screen, David.
Yes, we can see it. You can go for it.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Evening, everyone. Evening, students. Thanks so much, Richard and David. I certainly learned quite a lot. And what was fantastic was to see that so many of the resources are accessible and they are free, which means we don't have to really stress about it. We're already paying student fees. We already have a lot of costs, and that really eases or takes off the burden. So I'm just going to run through the course evaluation. Just to revise, we're going to go into our site. So if everyone remembers, adof.unisa.ac.za, that's going to take us into our My Student Skills Hub. And today we were going through our mobile learning learning masterclass. So you are obviously enrolled already. If you haven't enrolled, please, I think Richard and David definitely convinced you that it is a must, not just for your studies, but also going further into your careers. There's so many tools that you can make use of, and also you can get the hang of early on in your academic career. After that, it's going to take you to the course, and you're going to have your welcome, your orientation. As you go through it, you're going to have your different units. They will light up a little green color as you complete them, and that will enable you to keep track of your own progress. We're then going to go over to the course evaluation. So please, once you've completed the course, don't forget the course evaluation. Oftentimes we think that's not so important. We've done the course, we're getting our certificate. We're really happy about the situation. But the course evaluation is really going to give us vital and key information on how to improve and how to provide even more resources, better training opportunities. You might find that you use a certain tool that Richard and David covered, and you find some issue that we didn't discuss. And if you tell us about that in the course evaluation, we can make sure that we cover it going forward, and we can also make sure that other students as well that might be facing the same problem, they actually provided with that assistance. The other importance of sharing that course evaluation is that as you go through your course evaluation form, you're going to see what you yourself learned, and also what type of aspects or what things you want to improve on going forward. And as you know, there's many other courses that's on offer. Richard and David covered our course that we'll be having tomorrow. Please try to join us, and also the course evaluation at the end of it will indicate to you how you can now build on these skills and continue to improve. So the course evaluation is really important, students. I'm going to try to open it, but you should all be able to access it, and from there try to complete it. I do know that there's a lot of students currently on on the system, which is a very good sign, and that is really positive. So just please go to the course evaluation, please complete it honestly, and we will definitely take the feedback into consideration and continue to just improve the service provision and improve your learning and your learning experience. That's all from me this evening, colleagues. I'm going to hand back to David that will introduce Lindiwe. Thank you so much.
Right, thanks, Nathma, and thank you for the students as well. So to do the closing for us today, it's going to be Lindiwe, and she's going to do the closing. But yes, thank you for joining us. As Richard said, we do have AI Masterclass starting tomorrow, same time, but please just check the links. I see a lot of students are joining the different things that we're offering, because we've got lots of courses or events that are running at the same time or over the next few weeks, and they're joining the wrong one. So check the date and the time, guys, to make sure you're joining with the right link. So just check the invite that you have received. But I'm sure we'll send out an SMS as well for tomorrow. AI, something you got to learn, use it correctly. So we're going to be covering a lot of those features. So really looking forward to the session. So over to you, Lindiwe, for the closing for today. And thank you once more from my side, guys. I appreciate all the feedback that you guys are giving us as well.
Good evening, students. Lindiwe, as introduced. As we conclude today, the final session of the mobile learning class, I would like to extend our appreciation as ADOF for everyone who took their time this evening to attend and contributed to making this learning experience both valuable and engaging. Before reflecting on today's session, let's quickly remind ourselves of the keynote topics covered on day 1. For day 1, we have covered the logging in and accessing the My Student Skill Hub for all the courses that are offered and available on the Adobe site. For topic basic mobile literacy, we covered communication tools, different internet browsers, applications, users and purposes of emails, social media, and device security. For topic on device care, we focused on using mobile devices for our learning, for our online learning, productivity tools and apps, enhanced performance, extended lifespan, increased security, better life, and optimal functionality on our mobile devices. Those are the topics that we covered on yesterday. Today, a special thank you once again to Dr. Chetty for opening today's session and welcoming us, and for wishing all our students well in their studies for 2025. To Mr. Happerstad, we truly appreciate your session on using mobile devices, where you covered troubleshooting and key features in productivity applications, technical skills, tools and apps to help us make the most of our devices, and all the demonstrations on the apps on our phones. A big thank you to Mr. Richard Wright for the educational session on productivity tools, where you covered Microsoft 365 applications, cloud computing, cloud integrity using OneNote Drive, scanning app at Microsoft OneNote communication tools, equipping us with essential skills to improve our productivity in both learning and professional settings. To Ms. Semi, we gratefully thank you for your guidance and showing our students on how and where to access the courses, pre-assessments, and evaluation surveys, ensuring that we can provide valuable feedback to improve future sessions. To you, student, thank you for your engagement, participation, and again, the willingness to assist fellow learners on the chat. Thank you for your commitment and for making this session experience interactive and collaborative. Before we close, I would like to remind you all that tomorrow we have the African AI Masterclass starting from 5:30 to 7 p.m. This is another opportunity to expand your knowledge and skills. So we encourage you to join and continue your learning journey. Once again, thank you all for taking time to attend and learn with us. Wishing you success in all futures and learning careers. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
All the best. All the best with your studies, students. Hope to see you tomorrow.
Evening.